Greetings. Today we are going to have an apex pose of tripod headstand. We will also be doing the inversion crow. You are always welcome to substitute drills for these actual balances if you do not feel safe doing these exercises or if you are nursing an injury. For today's intention, I would like to set the notion of compassion, understanding. We are in very challenging times in more ways than one, and the more compassion that we exhibit for one another, the more that we try to meet people where they are at, then the better the outcomes will be for everyone. And this doesn't mean not holding ourselves and other people accountable. It simply means having the degree of respect and concern for the well-being of others that it manifests in our interactions with one another. So for the breath, just focus on the Ujjayi breathing. It's that Darth Vader breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, but with the sensation of fogging up a glass in wintertime. So slight constriction in the throat. You want to allow that breath to nourish your body throughout the practice today. Another note is for the inversion, the tripod headstand in particular, you want to make sure that you are focusing on the crown of your head as opposed to the front of your head, and that you are pressing firmly and distributing the weight in your hands, which will be directly underneath your elbow. Okay, so you want to put the bulk of that pressure into your hands. If you happen to fall out of your practice, that's okay. It happened to me actually in my last recording. But try to do so by softening your body so that you don't injure yourself by knocking into the floor or other things that might be around you. All right, so with that said, come to the top of your mat. We will begin in sun salutation. We'll start off with 2 sun salutation A's, Surya Namaskar A, and then 1 sun salutation B. I'm turned on an angle so that hopefully you can see me as clearly as possible. Finding your Ujjayi breath at the top of your mat, stacking muscles, bones, supporting yourself. Inhale to upward salute. Focus overhead at the thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Nice straight spine. Exhale, step or jump back, high to low plank. Hands under the shoulders, elbows by your sides. Inhale to upward dog, opening the chest, looking up and out, stretching the tops of the ankles. Exhale to downward dog. 3 breath cycles here. Doing what you need to do, sending those hips all the way up to the ceiling. My shoulders are particularly tight and my right hamstring is strained slightly. So again, you modify as you need to. Make sure that you are distributing the weight in your hands so you're not jamming your wrists. Then inhale to halfway lift. Hands can be on the lower legs, just not on the knees. Exhale, and you can round over slightly, looking at the belly and forward fold. Inhale, rise up to upward salute. Exhale, hands to heart center or your sides. Second round of sun salutation A. Inhale to upward salute. Exhale, fold over your legs. You can soften behind the knees, looking to your belly. Inhale to halfway lift, make the spine straight. Exhale, step or jump back, high to low plank, put the hands under your shoulders, control this down, building those muscles. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Sending those hips all the way back. And trying to get the heels down, lengthening behind your legs. My
first big movement for the day. So just finding where I'm tight or sore. I'll try and nourish those areas and imagine my breath nourishing the muscles in that region. Inhale to halfway lift, nice straight spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. Look at the belly. Inhale, rise all the way up, upward salute. Exhale your hands to heart center. Sun salutation B. Inhale, send the hips back in chair pose. Hands can be together or separated, same with the feet. Exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back, high to low plank. Control the descent. Inhale to upward dog. Press your shoulders open as much as possible. Lengthen the spine. Exhale to downward dog. Step forward with the right leg, placing the foot between the hands. And if you have trouble with this, you can always help that leg forward, okay? Ground that left heel down and lift up into warrior one. Bend into that front leg and square your body towards the front of the mat. Exhale into your vinyasa, high to low plank. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale to warrior one on the left side. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale to downward dog, where we will hold for 3 breath cycles. Looking towards your belly, trying to bring your chest closer to your legs, but not your hands. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale to chair pose. Send the hips back, weight in the heels. Exhale, rise to standing, hands at heart center. Going into our flow, stepping back, high to low plank. So forward fold over the legs. Halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. And we are going to release the right leg up to the ceiling in 3-legged dog. So let that leg go up as high as your body is comfortable with it. You can open out slightly. Just play with that stretch. Bending the leg, straightening, noticing the sensations that you feel, making sure that you are still supporting yourself fully in the upper body. And we are going to rotate and open up this right body half, so the right leg is in the air. We are going to shift our weight slightly forward into that left hand and onto the outside of our left foot, bringing that right leg behind us. Keep the hips high. I'm on the ball of my back foot, but if you need to set it down fully, you can. And just reach through that right arm. Energy stretching through that right side of the body. Breathe here, open up the chest. Hand is under the shoulder, that left hand. And we're going to start to pivot and reach that right leg back up into downward dog. Inhale, exhale, and bring that right knee in all the way to that right elbow, and then bring that right foot towards that left wrist. So now we're turned out. As we gently lower down, we're going to go into pigeon. If this hurts your knee, you can bend your foot in towards your left hip. So Pigeon pose, ideally you'll have this leg in front of you, parallel to the top of your mat, but not everyone's body will accommodate that. Mine generally doesn't like it, so do what you need to do. Square your hips towards the front of the mat. You want to have your sits bones, or your glutes, or hips, excuse me, down on the mat there. And then as you're ready, take a few breaths here. You can walk your body over to increase your stretch. The left leg is behind you parallel. Last breath. And use your hands to support you back up. Come into the ball of your back foot, and then extending that leg high, lowering it back down into regular downward dog. We're going to lift the left leg up and get a stretch. My toes are pointing down. You can bend it, rotate that hip in and out, as well as your body half, your side opening up. Just play with it a little bit, see how it feels. We're going to shift our weight forward into that right hand, rotate on that right foot to the outside edge of the foot as we allow this left hip to open up, reaching our arms up, overhead, keeping our hips high, reaching as far back as we can, opening our chest, pressing the pelvis up and getting a nice stretch. Don't let this knee fall in. Open and press up. Last breath. You can bring that hand back down as we start to pivot on that right foot. Lift the left leg back up into three-legged dog. And bend that left knee. Shift into a high plank, bringing that left knee to the left elbow and the left foot to the right wrist. Maneuvering into pigeon. So lowering that right knee down, adjusting as needed. We want to have the left leg, lower leg ideally parallel to the top of the mat. If that doesn't happen, that's okay. You can absolutely bring that left foot to the right hip. And I'm trying to keep my hip down. So modify as you need to for your body. Lengthen your spine and feel that stretch by extending forward. Breathe. Be compassionate with yourself. And gently help yourself back up. Coming to the ball of that back foot. Going to lift that left leg again into three-legged dog. Lowering that left leg down into regular dog, downward dog. And I'm just going to ask you to lunge forward with that right foot. Rotate open, almost into a version of Skandasana, and set your hips down. Extend that right leg. Now we are in straddle. So this straddle stretch, we are going to simply take our arms out to the sides, pull up through our core, and bring our bodies over. You can relax the feet. They do not need to be stretched or flexed. Go as far as your body will allow you to comfortably go. Try to lead with your chest and belly rather than the top of your head. If you lead with the top of your head, you're more likely to round your spine, and we are trying to get your belly button close to the floor so that you are lengthening your lower back. At the same time, you don't want to allow your feet to roll in too much. That actually starts at the hips. Press open at the hips a bit and lengthen. Try to get your knees pointed up more so to the ceiling. You can also use your hands to walk yourself forward. And stay here for a bit and just breathe. Let your muscles gently stretch. If this feels like too much, you can always bring your feet in a little bit closer to make the ankle a little bit smaller. And then take your body over. Nice long spine. Walk your hands over to frame one side. For me, this is my right leg. For you, if you're mirroring, it would be your left. And try to get your chest towards your knee. So not so much the top of your head, but try to shine your heart forward. And switch over to the opposite side. Breathing as you go. Keep that opposite hip down so you're not lifting up in order to get further to one side. Just relaxing those hamstrings. Trying to get your knees down so you don't want your knees buckled and bent here. Try to lengthen behind your knees. And walking back towards the center, walk your hands up. Bring one foot in, the other foot in. It's a bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. And then you will simply take one foot in your hand for our upward bound angle. You're going to take the opposite foot and balance on your coccyx. Okay? And you can extend one foot at a time. If you'd like to do your right first, I will extend my left so we mirror one another. You can hold your leg a little bit lower if this feels like too intense a stretch for you. If you want to hold the lower legs, you can do that. Activate your core, lengthen your spine. You don't want to slouch into this or fall. So stay lifted and activated. You can hold your ankles. You can hold your big toe if you wanted to do it this way. And then play with the degree of stretch here. You can open as wide as possible, or you can keep it a little bit more narrow. See what feels best to you and just try to make note of why that is the case. If you fall over, it is okay. Try not to hunch up your shoulders. If they are tense, just press down. Press your shoulders away from your ears. And if you come out of this, do it gracefully if possible so you don't injure yourself, maybe one foot at a time. And then just try your balance again. So we'll gently fold back in into Baddha Konasana, and then extend the legs out, rocking ourselves forward and up into wide-legged forward fold. So here my feet are about 4 or 5 feet apart, and I am lowering my body down with my elbows parallel. Press to the outside edge of your feet so you don't roll in on your knees or your arches. Just let gravity gently stretch you. Try not to lock your legs out. You can keep a micro bend in your knees. And try to get the crown of your head close to the floor so that you're not hunching up in your back, but you are lengthening. Elbow is in. You come to your hands and try and allow your head to go underneath you, even further towards the back behind you. And gently press into your hands and lift yourself back up. We are going to walk the feet into yogi squat, turning to face the top of the mat. I'm going to put my foot on either sides of the mat. If you're not on a mat, you would just want to have your feet about maybe 2 feet apart, and you're turned out. Heels are down for Malasana yogi squat or garland pose. You can bring your hands to prayer if that helps. We're about to go into crow. Placing your hands on the mat, you're going to shift your weight forward, and you're going to bring your knees up into the armpit area. 1 foot at a time. You will gently find your balance here. Looking forward, rounding your back, doming it, lifting the hips as high as you can, pressing into your hands evenly. Lower down when you're ready and try it one more time. So find your breath. You've been holding your breath with the effort. Take a moment to reset mentally and prepare to lift off once again. Remember to look forward and don't tuck your chin there.
Coming to all fours, we are going to do our tripod headstand. We covered this last class. If you are feeling unsafe, again, feel free to do drills. That would entail you placing the crown of your head down to the floor of the mat, making sure that you are aligning your hips over your head, not crunching the neck, okay? And simply straightening the legs and bending them. Just getting yourself accustomed to that inversion. So I'm gonna walk myself forward a bit, lower to the crown of my head, maybe walk my hands back a little bit to make sure that my wrists are underneath my elbows. So my lower arm is perpendicular to the floor. And then I'm going to lift up gently, slowly, straightening my legs, finding that sweet spot on my crown, making sure I'm pressing into my hands. From here, you can practice trying to pike up, like so, or bringing one foot in at a time. So testing it out slowly, putting one knee on the forearm or the tricep, and then the other gently, making sure again to press into your hands, moving your shoulders away from your ears so that it's not taking, your neck is not taking the brunt of that weight. And if you stop here, that's fine. If you choose to go further, you are welcome to bring the knees together and the feet pointing up. You can take one foot up at a time. Bring it back in. Test out the other foot. Bring that back down. You can try both feet if that feels good to you, both legs extended up. I notice that I tend to struggle with this, with my positioning of my hips. So check your alignment, see how it feels in your body. If at any time it doesn't feel right, you can stop. Oop, I'm going to come down. I've lost my balance there. Make sure that you do the same and come out of it slowly so you don't get a head rush or any injuries. Gonna come into tabletop. So if you're still inverted, take a moment to slowly come down and set up in tabletop with your knees under your hips, your hands under your shoulders. Take cat and cow a couple times. Your own timing. Keep your arms straight, externally rotated in the shoulders. Curling the toes under. We're going to go through a quick extension of the legs. So you're going to cross at the ankles, lift the knees, bring them underneath, come to your bottom, and extend your legs out. Slowly lowering down into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Palms would be up, eyes closed, neck and spine long, and everything relaxed. If you are taking this class asynchronously, at this time you can pause the recording to continue your Shavasana. And if you are taking classes with me, unfortunately, we have to cut it a little short. So as you come out of your Shavasana, your final rest, keeping your eyes closed, you'll roll onto one side slowly, resting your head on the bicep of that arm. The other hand can be placed in front of your chest, knees curled in towards your core. And there, with the eyes closed and the head heavy, you can gently walk your body to an upright seated position on that hip of that favorite side. Converting into easy seated posture, cross-legged Sukhasana. Just taking a moment to breathe before slowly opening your eyes. Having compassion for yourself and those around you. I give thanks for you practicing with me today. And greet you with namaste. Peace. Have a great day.